Okay students, so far we've talked about the unit title and the lesson objectives. Then, are you guys ready to begin today's class? Perfect. So let me give you this worksheet. Take one and pass them to the back. Take one and pass them to the back. Hoyoung, at the back, did you get the worksheet? Great. So what do you see on the first worksheet? Yes, there is a reading text, right? So from now on, we are going to begin the class with reading. So let's read. We are going to find the topic. So let's find the topic first. However, to find the topic, do we have to read the text quickly or slowly? Yes, Minsu? Yes, we need to read the text quickly, right? So you don't have to understand every single word. Just read quickly and find the topic for the reading text. Alright? I'm going to give you 3 minutes. 3 minutes? Go. Oh, Minje, do you need any help? Oh, you don't know how to find the topic. Then why don't you look at the title? Because title can be a great hint for the topic. Can you do that? Perfect. Keep up the good work. Okay, time's up, students. Were you guys able to find the topic? Great. So, can you guys share? Oh, yes, Hyewon. Oh, did everyone hear what Hyewon just said? She said the topic for this reading text is safety. Do you guys agree with that? Perfect. Then everyone, let's look at the text again. This reading text seems to be a little bit different from what we have seen from the middle school. Can you guess what it is? Yes, Jungmin? Yes, the structure is different, right? So we are going to talk about the structure. The structure of this reading text. So let's talk about it together. Which things can you find about the structure of this reading text? Yes, Hyewon? Oh yes, it has 3 parts, right? So it has 3 parts. And what else can you find? Yes, Jiwan? Yes, there are numbers and dots, right? So there are numbers and dots. So let's think about it. Why do we need these listing numbers and bullet points in this reading text? Yes, Nayoung? Oh, did everyone hear what Nayoung just said? She said we need this structure to make the text simple and clear. That's a great idea. So we need this structure to make the text simple and clear. Perfect. So far, we found the topic and we talk about the structure. Then, are you guys ready to read the text? Awesome. However, before we read the text, what do we have to learn first? Yes, Tawon? Yes, we need to learn some difficult words, right? So, were there any difficult words while you were reading the text? Alright, I can hear the word evacuate. So, our first word is evacuate. Alright, so let me give you a hint here. When there is an earthquake, we need to do what? Yes, Chungmin? Yes, we need to run away, right? That means we need to evacuate. Then, can you guess the meaning of the word evacuate? Yes, Suhyun? Yes, evacuate means run away. So, evacuate is run away. That's a great guessing. And is there another difficult word? Oh, I can hear the word drill from many of you guys. So, the next word is drill. So for this time, let's check the context. Which words can you find around the word drill? Yes, Tawon? Yes, you can find practice. And what else? Yes, Hoyoung? Yes, regularly. So we have 2 hints here, practice and regularly. So with these 2 hints, can you guess the meaning of the word drill? Yes, Jiwan? Oh, did everyone hear what Jiwan just said? He said practice regularly is training. That's a great guess. So drill means training. To practice regularly. And did you guys have another difficult words in this reading text? Oh yes, pull over is difficult word. Yes, so pull over. So for the word pull over, I just prepared a video clip. So everyone, let's watch this short video clip. Alright, so we just watched the video clip. In the video clip, the man was in the car and pushed the gear to the front. Then what happened? Yes, Hyewon? Yes, the car moved. And right after that, the man pulled the gear to his arm. Then what happened? Yes, Sumin? Yes, the car stopped, right? So, can you guess the meaning of the word pull over? Yes, Jaeho, that's perfect. So, pull over means to stop the car. Great. Okay, so we just learned these 3 difficult words. But before we start reading, we need to check how well you understand these words. So let's begin the quiz time. So it's quiz time. I just prepared the 3 quizzes. So let's see the first quiz. Everyone look at the screen. Jihan at the back. Can you see the screen? Great. So what do you see on the screen? Yes, there are 2 pictures, right? What can you see in the first picture? Yes, Jongmin? Yes, people are moving fast, right? And what about the second picture? What can you see? Yes, Dongwoo? Yes, people are studying, right? Then, which picture explains the word evacuate? Yes, Suhyun? Oh, yes, the first picture, right? So, we got the first quiz correct. Great job, everyone. And the last one, the third quiz. So everyone look at the screen again. So Jae at the back, do you see the screen? Alright, so what can you see in the first picture? Yes, the car is moving, right? And how about the second picture? Yes, Hyunjung? Yes, the car stopped, right? Then which one explains the word pull over? Yes, Hyunwoo? Yes, the second one, right? Great. So we all got these 3 quizzes. So I can see everyone understood these 3 difficult words correctly. Then are you guys ready to read the text a little bit more closely? Awesome. So from now on, we are going to read the text for the details. So let's find some details. So everyone, let's look at the screen. Sumin, what do you see on the screen? Yes, there are 2 sentences, right? However, there is something strange in the 2 sentences. Yes, Hyunwoo? Yes, that's because there are several blanks, right? So from now on, we are going to read the text again and find the answer for the blanks in the sentences, okay? However, to find the answer, do we have to read everything or just the necessary part? Yes, Hyunjung? Yes, we can read only the necessary part to find the answer, right? So from now on, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do what, Jae? Yes, we are going to find the answer for the blanks for those 2 sentences on the screen, okay? I'm going to give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes, go. Oh, Hyunsu, you finished already? Wow, you're such a quick reader. Then why don't you help your friend Suhyun? I heard Suhyun needs some help. Can you do that? Perfect. So like this, friends can be a better teacher. Keep up the good work. 1 minute left, students. Does anyone need more time? Okay, time's up. So let's check the answers together. So what was the answer for the first blank? Can you guys share? Thank you, Minsu. Yes, it was fire extinguisher, right? So the first answer was fire extinguisher. Did everyone got the answer? Perfect. And what was the second one? Yes, Hyunjung? Yes, it was drop, cover, and hold, right? So the second one was drop, cover, and hold. Did everyone get this answer? Perfect. Okay, so far we just found those answers. But before we move on to the next part, let me quickly check how well you understand these parts. So let's check. Alright, so everyone close your eyes and think about where the fire extinguisher is in our classroom. Can you point it with your fingers? Perfect. Open your eyes. I can see everyone knows where the fire extinguisher is in our classroom. Yes, it is right in the corner over there. And everyone stand up. So let's imagine that there is an earthquake right now. What do we have to do? Yes, Hyunwoo? Yes, we have to first drop to the ground, right? So everyone, let's practice. Drop to the ground. Perfect. And what's next? Yes, Suhyun? Yes, we have to take cover, right? So cover your head right now. Alright, so I can see everyone is covering their heads with the desk. Perfect. Then what's the last one? Yes, Hyewon? Yes, we have to hold on, right? So we need to hold on to the desk legs until the shake ends. Great. So everyone stand up and go back to your seats. Alright, so with this short practice, I could find that everyone is understanding the important points very well. So, good job on this. You guys deserve a big hand. Let's give ourselves a big hand. Great. So far, we read about what we have to do before the earthquake and during the earthquake. Then why is it so important? Don't you want to talk about it? Awesome. So let's have a brainstorming here. So it's time for the brainstorming. So before we share ideas with class, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to talk with your partner first. So Suyeon, Hyunsu, you two, Jongmin, Minjong, you two, and lastly, you two. So does everyone have their partners? Perfect. So with your partners, talk about why it is so important to know about these safety tips. Alright? So talk about why it is so important to learn these safety tips. However, because this is a brainstorming, it is very important to keep in mind what? Yes, Hoyoung? Yes, there is no right answer, right? So keep in mind that there is no right answer. Anything is fine because this is just a brainstorming. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes? Go. Okay, time's up. So let's share what you talked with your partner. Can anyone share? Yes, Hyunsu? Oh, yes, because we need to survive. That's a great answer. And what else? Yes, Hoyoung and Yongho? Yes, that's because we need to protect ourselves. That's a great answer. And what else? Oh, yes, Jongmin and Minjong? Yes, because the earthquake is unpredictable. Because it is unpredictable. That's a great answer. Okay, so far we just finished brainstorming about why it is important to know about the safety tips. Then, are you guys ready to actually make safety tips? Perfect. Then everyone, from now on, let's make the safety tips. So, let's make up safety tips. So everyone, let's look at the second handout. What do you see on the second handout? Yes, Suhyun? Yes, there are pictures, right? How many pictures can you see? Yes, Hyunwoo? Yes, there are 6 pictures, right? So to make a safety tip, it is first important to understand the pictures. So from now on, we are going to have some time for talking about the pictures. Alright? Okay, so let's have a talk time first. Talk. So we are going to do this in groups. So Suyeon, Hyunsu, Minjong, Jongmin, Hoyoung, and Yongho, U6, U6, and finally the last group, group 5, U6. Is everyone in the group? Perfect. So with your group members, we are going to talk about those pictures, okay? However, to describe the picture, let me give you an example. So everyone look at the screen here. Jiwan, at the back, do you see the screen? Perfect. So what do you see on the screen? Yes, there is a picture, right? And in the picture, students are moving fast, covering their head, right? So like this, there are several things you should remember when you describe the picture. Like Jiwan just said, the first thing is about the safety. So your description must be about the safety. Alright? And Dong, what else can you see below the picture? Yes, there are 2 sentences, right? And can you read the first one? Yes, it was run to the safe zone. And can you read the second one, Suhyun? Yes, it was protect your head, right? So like this, when you describe the picture, you need to use those action sentences, okay? So the second part you need to remember is use action sentences. Alright, so I'm going to give you 15 minutes to talk with your group members and describe the pictures. However, whenever we do this kind of talk activities, which rule do we have to follow? Yes, Hyunsu? Yes, we need to follow the EARTH rule, right? So remember the EARTH rule. So what is A? Yes, Dongwoo? Yes, it was active participation. And what was R? Yes, Tawon? Yes, respect others. So make sure you respect your friends' ideas, alright? And the last part, what was T? Yes, Hyunwoo? Yes, it was take turns, right? Okay, so remember the EARTH rule. I'm going to give you 15 minutes. 15 minutes to do what, Dongwoo? Yes, describe the pictures, alright? 15 minutes, go. Oh, Tawon, I can see you're participating very actively. Great job. However, what was the T rule? Do you remember? Yes, take turns. So make sure everyone is talking. Alright? And group 3, I could hear that your description was perfect, but do you remember the second point? Yes, we should use the action sentences, right? So make sure you use those action sentences, okay? Perfect. Oh, group 5, you already finished? Wow, you guys are such active students. Then why don't you describe more about it? Because it's always better safe than sorry. Can you guys do that? Perfect. 1 minute left, students. Does any group need more time? Okay, time's up. Okay, so we just finished this talk activity, and there is something I want to tell you. When I was walking around and listening to your descriptions, I could find that everyone was talking about the safety. That was great. Not only that, I was very impressed that you were using these action sentences very well. I'm so proud of you. I want to give you a big hand. Great job, everyone. So with this talk activity, are you guys ready to make safety tips for your own? Perfect. Alright, so everyone, let's look at the third handout. What do you see, Hyunwoo? Yes, it says 6 tips during an earthquake. So from now on, we are going to make these safety tips in your groups. Alright? However, there are several things you should remember when you make these safety tips. So, I would say, don't forget here. So the first thing, how many students in your group? Yes, there are 6 students, right? So each member should have their role. So the first one is one student should write 1 tip and 1 drawing. Okay? So each group member is going to take each part. And for the second part, we should use what kind of sentence? Yes, Suhyun? Yes, we should use those action sentences. Okay? Action sentence. And this is because what? Yes, this is because we need to be simple and clear because it's safety tips, right? And for the last one, the third one, for the drawing, it's going to be about what? Yes, Hyewon? Yes, it should be about the safety. Okay? So don't forget these 3 things when you make the safety tips for the earthquake. Alright? Awesome. However, just before we start, let me tell you this. The best safety tips will be posted in our school so that students can protect themselves during the earthquake. How does this sound? Exciting? Perfect. From now on, I'm going to give you 20 minutes to make 6 tips for the earthquake. Alright? Don't forget these 3 things. 20 minutes, go. Oh, group 2, do you need any help? Oh, you don't know what to begin with. Then why don't you look at the second worksheet? Because the second worksheet was kind of a warm-up activity for this one. Was that helpful enough to finish this activity by yourselves? Keep up the good work. And if you need any more help, just feel free to call me. Alright? And group 4, you already finished? Wow, what a quick drawers and writers. Then why don't you write more tips and more drawings? Because you can never emphasize safety too much. Can you guys do that? Perfect. 1 minute left, students. Does any group need more time? Okay, time's up. Alright, so we just finished making 6 tips during an earthquake. However, after we finished writing, what do we have to do? Yes, we need to check our writing, right? So it's time for checking. So let's have a check time. So everyone, let me give you this self-evaluation card. Take one and pass them to the back. Take one and pass them to the back. So Sumin, at the back, did you get this self-evaluation card? Perfect. So what do you see on the first part? Yes, it says the role, right? So the first part was about the role. And what does it mean? Yes, Hoyoung? Yes, it means your group members' role. So if your group members did 1 tip and 1 drawing, you can give 3 stars here. Alright, and what's the second one? Yes, Tawon? Yes, it says tip, right? So the second one was tip. And what does that mean? Yes, Hyunwoo, for the tips, it should be written in action sentences because it should be simple and clear. So for the second part, you can give 3 stars if it is perfect, and 2 stars if it is just good, and 1 star if it needs to improve. And for the third part, what do you see? Yes, Dongwoo? Yes, it says drawing, right? So the third part was drawing. And what does that mean? Yes, Taewoo? Yes, drawing means safety. So your drawing should be about the safety. So you can give 3 stars for the perfect, 2 stars just good, 1 star if it needs to improve. Okay? And lastly, what do you see? Yes, Hoyoung? Yes, there's comment, right? So make sure you can give a comment to yourself. Okay? So with this self-evaluation worksheet, we are going to check our writings. However, whenever we do this self-evaluation, what's the most important thing? Can anyone tell us? Yes, Jungmin? Yes. Being honest is very important. So make sure being honest. Honesty is the most important thing when you do this activity. Alright? So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes to check your group's writing on your own. 5 minutes? Go. Okay, time's up. So we just finished checking our own writing. Then what do we have to do next? Yes, Eunsu? Yes, we need to revise our writing, right? So make sure you revise your writing based on the self-evaluation card and upload. Upload to where? Yes, Hoyoung? Yes, to our online classroom. Okay? So that we can vote for the best safety tip. Alright? Perfect. So students, in today's class, we did what? Yes, 정은? Yes, we first read about the safety and we did what? Yes, too. We made the safety tips for the earthquake. Right? So through today's class, I want you to become a person who can protect yourselves during the natural disasters. Can you guys do that? Perfect. So that's all for today and have a great weekend.